Hi, my name is Derek Bomback, and today we're going to learn about 4-3-2 voicings. So you're probably wondering what 4-3-2 voicings are, and basically those correspond with the strings 4, 3, and 2 on the guitar here. So I've picked these three strings to focus on because I find that this is a great register for the guitar. It's not so high up where it gets in the way of a vocalist or maybe a trumpet player, but it also isn't too low where it gets in the way of a bass player or even a piano player with its left hand. Now, with these kinds of voicings, I've also limited it even further. I've also made it so each voicing does not exceed 3 fret spaces here. So this sort of 3 space area is sort of my limit. So 3 strings, 3 frets. Now, you can have several combinations of variations of voicings. In fact, there's 27 in total. And up on the screen, I'm about to put all 27 of those voicings. So as you can see, there's plenty of variations here, and I've gone through all the permutations, so there's all of them in these sheets here provided. And you can pause this at any point in time and go back and look at them all. So with these kinds of voices, another great reason why I focused on the 4-3-2 area is that with these chords, there's a lot of guide tones in these strings here. So you can sort of see when chords change where the guide tones are. And we'll explain a little bit more about guide tones in a little bit. Okay, so let's take a common progression and start looking at these 4-3-2 voicings here. So the first chord I'd like to take a look at is a D minor chord. So what I do with these voicings is I think of the bass motion as sort of our anchors. So I look at, say, the D here on the 5th string, and I think about a 4-3-2 voicing that would sort of surround this. So a good voicing maybe for D minor 7 would be something like this. Okay, so you got A, C, and F. So that's a great little voicing there. And then maybe now if I'm going to a G7, so we're going to do a 2-5-1 kind of progression. So to go to G7, I would then maybe move the A down to G, move the C down to B, and have the F stay the same. When you're moving voicings, it's a good idea to try to move them as smoothly as possible from one chord to the next. And by that I mean have the voices move very minimally. So if we're going from this D minor 7 to this G7, the only things that are moving is this A is moving by step, and the C is moving down by half step to the G7 voicing here. So if you can get them to move by step, that's the best kind of movement for smooth voice leading. Now from the G7, it should go to the C major 7. So now from here, I'm going to now move it down to this voicing, which is a great C major 7 voicing. So again, we'll go D minor 7, G7, and then C major 7. Now let's take a look at a 2-5-1 in minor. So again, we're looking at our anchor note here, D. So maybe a minor 7 flat 5 for this would be like this. And now our G7, there's our anchor. Again, we can use that same voicing we used earlier, but with minor voices, I like to put some alterations in there. So maybe what I'll do is instead of doing here, maybe I'll also move the F down to an E flat. And then that way it gives us a nice G augmented 7th kind of sound. And then resolve to C minor, I would probably then move this B natural down to a B flat. So I'll do it again. So it'll be something like this. And then like this. Okay, so nice smooth voice leading. Now, we were talking about earlier about guide tones. Guide tones are essentially, when we're doing a D minor 7, let's say, the 7th going down by half step to a 3rd of the next chord, which is G7 here. That gives you a really strong sense of resolution from the minor 7 to the dominant 7. So, or, and then, okay, let's take a look at it now maybe in a different position. So D minor 7 we had up on the 5th fret. Let's take a look at it here up on the 10th fret. So here you can maybe do something like this, or even better, something like this, incorporate the seventh. So I got C, F, and A, and then now I can move it to, so essentially there, we've only moved the C down by half step. Again, we're looking at our guide tone, down to B natural, which is the third of the G7. And then now this can move to the C major 7 there. So we went, so now the B stays the same, the F moves down to E, which is another kind of guide tone. We got the 7th of the G7th, moving down by half step to the 3rd of C major 7. And then the A moves down to G. So let's play that again. So it should be D minor 7, G7 or G9, C major 7. Now you can do different variations of these. Let's do something maybe a little more modern. Let's try something like this. So D minor 7, we're going to maybe do a D11 type voicing. And then now we can do G7 with maybe a flat 9. And then now we can do something like this for C major 7. So this is kind of interesting because now we have, you have this top voice moving up chromatically, which gives it some really nice motion. And especially going from the D minor 11 sound, going to the G7 flat 9, the outer voices work in contrary motion, which is a great sound. And then resolves there. So. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a standard tune and just start practicing playing some of these chord voicings to the tune. Now I'm going to do 2 choruses for you. The first chorus is going to sort of be a swing style approach along a kind of a Freddie Green style. So just 4 chords per bar and just sort of chunking along, as they say. And then the second chorus, I'm going to use a little more rhythmic variation, as well as using more modern kind of 4/3/2 voicings in fourths and in seconds. And that way you can see that these voicings can have a variety of different sounds and certainly different styles. So let's check this out. All right, so that was just a few ideas there for you to kind of check out. there's a lot of different variations of these 27 voicings, a lot of practical uses for them and in different styles. So I would like you to maybe now start taking a look at them and trying your own thing on top of them, using anchor notes to keep track of where you're at in a progression, and just sort of put these kind of voicings on top of them. And I think you're going to find that this is going to be a great tool for you as you're playing with different ensembles. And if you want to just sit right in the middle of an ensemble and not get in anybody's way, these voicings are the way to go. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, go ahead and hit the like button down below, as well as the subscribe button. There's going to be a lot more videos coming at you. So if you want to keep up to date on new videos that are coming, be sure to subscribe. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed.